Hey folks, welcome back to Honey Money SG. So the big question is, how do we pay ourselves first? Do you feel that it's really difficult to save money in Singapore because everything around us is really so expensive? Our houses and cars are one of the most expensive items in this world, and our cost of living isn't cheap either. In fact, if you look at everything that is increasing in price and cost, only our salary and income is not increasing. So do you feel that it's really difficult to save money in Singapore despite everybody telling you to do so? Which is why I'm here to share how can we actually pay ourselves first such that we can instill a discipline in our spending habits as well as saving for our future. So I am going to give you 3 different scenarios, starting with the average Joe. The average Joe is your normal salary worker, and every month he receives a paycheck of $2,500 of take-home pay. And what he does with the $2,500 of take-home pay is that he will go and spend it on his daily expenses, be it on his family, going out with friends, buying all his food, transportation, paying his bills and what so. But at the end of the day, whatever that is remaining, he will count it as savings. So let's say he spent only $2,000 and he have $500 of spending, which is not too bad, right? That's 20% of savings. Now this is the average Joe, and I believe that a lot of people are actually in this category, right? Whatever is their take-home pay, they will just spend a portion of it, then look at if there's any surplus, they will put it in the bank, and that is their savings. Next, let's take a look at what a frugal person does. So this frugal person most likely follows some kind of financial blogs like Seedly or Vogue Salaryman, then become quite inspired, right? Want to start their own saving habits. So what this frugal person do is that with a $2,500 take-home pay, he will first save $500 in his bank account first. In fact, he will transfer out the $500 to a separate bank account. Then the remaining $2,000, he can use it and spend it on whatever he wants, be it daily expenses and all that nitty-gritty stuff, right? I mean, $2,000 is quite a lot for a single person to spend. And you realize that his savings rate is still 20%, which is actually no different from average Joe. But do you realize that the mentality is very different? Because the average Joe needs to be really careful in his expenses to make sure that he spends $500. Whereas for Frugal Boy, he actually already saved $500 before deciding on what to spend. So he can be really frivolous with the $2,000 of spending that he have. That is the budget that he can spend it on whatever he wants without caring, because he already saved that 20% of his income. So that's good for him. But I'm going to lead you to the third guy, and this is the Frugal Woke Salaryman. Because this guy, on top of the Frugal Boy earlier, he also have another trick. With his take-home income, he will allocate a portion to savings as well as investments. Then the remainder will be his spending expenses fund. What I mean is that if the take-home pay is $2,500, he allocate a $500 of savings rate, and then he allocate $1,000 to investments, and the remaining $1,000 will then be his monthly budget for spending. Don't get me wrong, his savings rate is still 20% for his cash savings because that's $500, but now he have 40% allocated to investments because he's starting out maybe doing dollar cost average into an S&P 500 ETF, and that's what he's doing, right? Building up for the future is his investment portfolio, and $1,000 every month is actually quite a lot. That will only leave him with $1,000 of spending budget. $1,000 is definitely not a lot. In fact, some people will say it's too little, but for a single person, I think it's still quite manageable. In fact, I talk about how you could just spend $1,000 a month in this specific video right here, so you can take a look after watching finish this video. So you see the difference between the second and the third person is that the third person, the frugal work salaryman, actually plan for his future because he's not saving all the way to retirement. He definitely needs to have an alternative investment, and that is the investing portfolio, such as investing in a diversified index fund, and then he can help to build his assets passively while he is working hard on a full-time job. So it really doesn't matter which person's mindset that you subscribe to, just that you have to be disciplined and at least maintain a savings rate of 20 to 30%. I think that's fair enough for everyone to achieve. And you see the sequence of paying yourself is actually quite different between these 3 people. It's either you pay yourself first or you pay yourself after you have spent finished your daily expenses. So which one do you want to be in? I can't really comment for you, but I would say if you can go for the third option, which is the frugal work salaryman method, then I think that's the best for yourself. And I'm going to share how you can actually do it physically. That is through automation, right? Because if you are using a bank account with DBS and POSB, you can actually go to this kind of balance transfer. Under the pay and transfer category, you can look at this thing called standing instruction. Now for standing instruction, I'm sure some of you know the purpose, because like for gyro, which is more commonly known, it's actually like an automatic deduction or transfer every month or every time that you set it up. So you can set up this standing instruction. It's an automatic transfer, and you can transfer like $500, $1,000, depending on how much you want to save. Every month after you have received your income, it will just transfer automatically depending on the date that you set it at. So once you have automated this process, you don't have to manually go and transfer, because you may feel quite painful, you know, after receiving your $2,500, then you feel, wow, need to transfer $500, very pain. But if the robot is doing it for you, or the bank is doing it for you, then you don't feel it, right? Because you cannot see, cannot touch, then it's gone already. Okay, at least it's gone to another bank account, and hopefully this bank account that you have transferred to does not come with an ATM card, so you don't have the means to actually go and withdraw the money from it. Because I understand that some of you, when your hand itchy and you think that I have so much funds saved, right, I need to withdraw this money and go and spend it out having fun, right? So once you do not have the ATM card, you do not have the access to the cash anymore, and therefore it will restrict your spending. So this kind of method is called out of sight, out of mind, and out of touch. Okay, you cannot see, you cannot touch, and you cannot feel. And then it can help you automate this process. Of course, not everybody really needs this method. It's more for people who don't have any kind of self-discipline with regards to spending and saving. But if you are disciplined enough, you don't really need to follow this step. Now that is the physical portion of how to pay yourself first. But what about the mental part? Psychologically, how to actually have the motivation to keep paying yourself first and saving money? Because I know spending money is really shock, right? The feeling is really good, but saving money, it kind of do the opposite. Like, it's really delayed gratification. So a lot of people may not appreciate that. So saving money is kind of like a mental exercise. Like your physical exercise, you want to condition, you want to start small, you want to do fewer reps, you want to run lesser miles before you actually start a full-scale exercise, right? Before you go for a marathon, you want to take like a short 2km, 4km run. So maybe you can start off with a small amount like $100 to $200, then automate it. Then it will be consistent, you'll be disciplined. As you start seeing results, then it'll motivate you to do further. Then you can increase the amounts to $500 or even $1,000 if you are a high income earner. And to make it a little more motivating, let's say that you have already allocated your spending and you have allocated your investment, and after that your remaining is your expenses, right, that you can spend. And let's say that if you didn't manage to finish that amount, then you can actually put this remainder into a separate bucket called fun money. And this fun money will be where you can actually start saving up for your vacation trips, your luxury spend, your lavish spending, or you want to go out drinking sessions. All these can come out from your fun money bucket, which means that these are more for discretionary spend, meaning more of your wants than your needs. Or maybe if you have been eyeing for the latest electronic gadget, then you want to save some money for it, that's where the fun money will go in place. And another method to really save money is to start looking at credit cards. Now, credit cards is only after you have been financially disciplined, which means that you are careful with your spending, you already have your budget, and you already have your savings automated, everything. Then you can start to look at cashback credit cards, because they do give you a little bit of cash savings when you use them to purchase either online or physically at the merchants. But you know, amid of all these saving money techniques and automation and stuff, I think it is also important to smell roses along your way, because what's all the fun when you cannot have the life to spend it? So if coming along the way there is an opportunity to create a memorable experience, be it traveling to a remote location or having fun with your friends at parties that are one time off, then I think you shouldn't scream and save for it, because that opportunity may come once in a lifetime, and if you miss it, it will be a very long time before you actually get the next opportunity. So life is always more about experiences than the money that you can accumulate over the long term. And you know, in order to increase your experiences and having the money to spend for it, I would say you need to learn the art of credit card stacking. And that's what I talk about in this video right here, because it will teach you about the different methods of credit card stacking instead of just relying on the very basic level of cashback. With that, thank you for watching. My name is Christopher. This is Honey Money SG, steering young adults to financial independence.